Yet. Well, I guess the microphone's working. Whee! This is a good start. Hello, everybody. My name's David, and I probably shouldn't be here. You definitely shouldn't. Yes, these things work better if I press the button on the right screen. There we go. Who here loves form controls? Yeah, it's fair enough, really. They're not exactly the most exciting thing in the world, but you can do some interesting things with them. So let's see where we go with that. Let's write some code that's embedded in another site, and you can't see it because there's like cross-site protections and stuff, so that doesn't work, does it? So we're going to open a browser window, and everything's going to be fine. Be calm, David. Everything's just great. Because I prepped all of this. I didn't prep any of it. I've been far too busy. But the good news is that I have done this talk before of a form. So there's nothing shockingly new here that's going to freak me out, I hope. But we'll see how we go. It should be good, I reckon. I'm going to work out what I'm doing and remember what I'm saying, and that's better. Right, we get a slightly better view. Form controls, they don't do a lot. They're very dull. But you can muck about with them. There's a thing called the checkbox label hack. Some people have argued with me that it's not a hack at all. I say, well, it's not doing what the thing was originally designed for, and we're using it to make it do something else, so that's a hack, right? Anything that takes one thing that's supposed to do A, and we make it do B, that's a hack, right? Anybody down with that? Anybody disagree? Good. I don't have to shout, get the fuck out at anyone. This is good. So the checkbox label hack utilizes some of the lovely features of CSS that everybody loves so much, because CSS is a wonderful, popular thing. And we're going to actually just set this to SCSS SAS, just because it will mean we can write some slightly shorter code. We're going to create a checkbox. Thrilling stuff. Input, type equals, people can't type when you're looking. No, I can't type when people are looking. Also when my fingers are shaking, because this is all fine. Type equals checkbox. Isn't that exciting? Right, we have oh no, there it is. Oh, you can click on it, and it clicks. And yeah, how exciting. Now, of course, you can give that a label. Ordinary thing to do. We're going to put a label in. Yeah, we can spell that as well. Yeah, great. And we wrap it in there, and that's the right way to do things. Everybody's agree with that? You know, it's so simple. We don't have to use any like for attributes or anything. It knows which is for. It's in the middle of it. That's not very helpful though, so we're not going to do that because all will be revealed in a moment. We're going to have to give this an ID so that it will work, and we're going to call it CB1. Why not? And then we're going to give it a label, and we say it's for. Equals, yeah, CB1, it's thrilling. Oh my God, can you believe how much fun we're having? This is amazing. And the label probably better say something, so we'll call it, okay, so label. Oh, phew. Oh, this is just top level stuff. It's properly exciting. And now we've got a label. And because the label is associated with the tag, look, clicking on the label, oh wow, this is magic. I've never seen anything like it. It's just blowing my mind. Everything's fine. What we do know about checkboxes is they're ugly, and that you can't style them. And I'm sure lots of you know how we get around that. But for those of you who don't, we're going to explain that in the CSS. We're going to create a rule for some inputs, right? We're going to have input, we're going to go type equals checkbox. Why not? Seems a good idea. Great. And we are going to say, hello, Mr. Checkbox, would you kindly piss off? Because nobody wants to look at an ugly checkbox, do they? So the checkbox is gone. But we're left with a label, and that label controls the checkbox, even though you can't see the checkbox. So now we can style the label. Whoa, that's amazing. But we also kind of want to do funky things. We want to have extra abilities. We're going to leverage the ability of CSS to do extra bits on the outside, right? How am I going to do this? Right, we're going to go, and because we're doing a bit of SAS here, we can do some nesting and stuff. Isn't that groovy? And so we're saying this is a checkbox. If it's immediately followed by a label, these rules are going to apply. And then we're going to give it some stars, shall we? Let's do that, right? Right, this is where I am going to hack into the matrix, right? Download Neo's abilities. This is great, right? I'm going to type so fast you can't even see it. But, oh, we seem to be back. Okay. Coder sound check, 0, 1, 0, 1. One person. I hate you people. Okay. Let's see, these size can come down just a little bit. So there we go. We've styled the label. That's very exciting. But now we want to style. We need a new checkbox, basically. So we're going to style that, and yeah. And we'll just drop some code in there, because obviously I prepared one earlier, and we are indeed copy and pasting. I lied to you before about the matrix. I'm so sorry. So yeah, now we should have that. Why is that not working? Because I popped it in the wrong place. Right? Undo that. It should be. No, that is the right place. Label with before and after. Yeah, it should be there. How's that working? I need something. It's there. Mm. Yeah, it might be that there's something that goes on for a additional one that's specifically for the before. Okay, there we go. Everything's under control. Whoops, no, that broke the code. We don't want that. There we go. Should get a grey box now. Hey, well, it's grey radio. Right. Doesn't matter. Who cares about the styling? So we've used a bit of style on the before, and we said, right, there's a thing there. Now it looks, and we can make it change, and we can make it do nice things and look lovely, and that's all very, very exciting. And then we need to obviously have a style for when we actually use it. One of the nice things about CSS is that it is aware of context as far as form controls go, because it knows whether radios and inputs are checked or not. So we can say, well, that's some great layout. That's really meaningful. Great. You say, if it's checked and it has a label after it, then make the after bit differently styled. Whoa, we've got a style check. Oh my God. It's thrilling, isn't it? Didn't even use JavaScript. Amazing. Okay, this is pretty basic. It's not that impressive. But really, what's the point? Well, you know, there's some power here. There's some basic logic that you're doing in CSS. So you can start to build some other things. It seems we've lost a bit of time. This might be an excuse for me to just go and find a bit of old code and just chuck that up on the screen instead of building it in front of you, because honestly, you might get a little bit bored. Although I hope not. That would be very unfortunate. Can I remember the shortcut to change that? That's great. Superb. Let's have a look at this. See what we've got here. Ooh. Oh, fine, it'll do. Just replace the window. Don't give a damn. So we've got some tabs. How'd you build tabs? You go get a library, don't you? And it's got some JavaScript in it, and you click that, and that happens. You click that, and that happens. Oh, that's exciting. Okay, so let's have some tabs. Right, there we go. Fully functional tabs. Have a look at the JavaScript column. Now give me a round of applause, please. It's all the same stuff. All we've done here is we've used checkboxes with labels and a little bit of CSS to control whether things are displayed depending on the state of the checkbox. This is just amazing. You didn't think you could do that. Look at that. There we go. There's some really basic HTML, nothing funky there. And then some really simple, well, actually, this stuff goes through steps, because originally I did it chunk by chunk. But, you know, this is how much that grayed out bit, that's the whole thing. That's all it takes. It's kind of amazing. Let's have a look at something else then, shall we? Oh, this one's good. Right? Why don't we have this one? Right. Let's get that to go away. And bring this one to the stage. Very exciting. There we go. Oh, I'm saying that's probably a little bit too big to really be visible. Everyone read that? No? Oh, that's unfortunate. Doesn't really matter. Can you see the bit at the bottom is the important bit? Because what we've got here are collapsible accordions. Exciting, right? Look at this one. It even knows which one to be open and which one not. Anyone want to take a guess why? What's controlling the logic? Radio buttons, exactly. Only one radio button can be true at once in a set. Boom, sorted. Same code, basically, the same thing has been reused over and over again. What's the point of all that, really? Well, essentially, it's not really about the CSS, is it? It's not really about building these specific things, or even necessarily about any specific other thing that you could build with it. But think about the tools that you have at your advantage, and what is the minimum level of tooling you need to actually build something that is complex and interactive that you would normally have to go off and pile in loads more tools, throw in some JavaScript, throw in some frameworks, throw in a library. You don't need them half the time. There's a lot that can be done, which is really good fun. There's one more that I want to show you, because these have been kind of ugly. I'm going to go back a little bit in terms of what we were doing. Chunky buttons, oh, that's really boring. Okay, where's it gone? Should be here. Okay. Whilst I try and find that, I want to literally got paid to build this. Can't believe it. Amazing. Completely irrelevant though, because that actually uses JavaScript. Not very much. The point is you use as little as possible, wherever you can. Oh, I had a really nice slider button somewhere. Well, doesn't matter. We can live without that. That's it. There's all the stuff about code, really. And we're like quarter of an hour in. That's probably reasonably healthy. Where do we go from there? I think we go, let's see, there's loads more slides. One slide for every demo that didn't work. And then oh my God, how many of them were there? Here we go. This is a screenshot, basically, of a website. There's a little thing called Cylon. I have permission from the chap who built it to use this in the talks, because it's really goddamn cool. You see what it says there? Logic gates and adders in pure CSS. Logic gates. Anybody not know what logic gates are? A few people. Okay, so logic gates are basically your foundational components of all electronics, both physical electronics and our software, hardware electronics, the things that we build computers from. Logic gate basically takes one or more inputs and decides what to do with it. So let's say you've got two inputs, you've got two lines of power, right? Actual electricity, they go into a logic gate. The logic gate decides what comes out the other side. Say it's an AND gate. The AND gate says both of those circuits need to be turned on before the output circuit is turned on. Lots more complicated, different versions. You've got OR gates, one or the other, which exclusive OR gates, only one or the other, and there's loads of them. You build all those up, simple little blocks. Put loads of simple blocks together, and you start getting quite complex stuff. You carry on doing that, and you get stuff that's so complex that we've actually got computers. And you carry on doing that and mucking about with some more, and you get all this machine learning stuff, and people saying, it's AI, it's not. But they start doing insane things. And it's basically all just logic gates. So the thing is, in principle, if you can build a logic gate in CSS, you could build a lot of logic gates in CSS. All right, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's have a look at some logic gates. Come on, open. Did that open? No, it didn't open. Right. Copy the link. That's no, that's a link to logic gates. No, that's a okay. Oh look, this actually works in the screen. Oh, amazing. I don't remember how I did that. So that's really groovy. So this is an AND gate. It's the first one here. Turn on that input, as we just described earlier. Turn on that input, woof, and it lights up at the bottom. It's magic. Power of logic. An OR gate, that one's on. Oh, it turns on. That one's on. Turns on. That one's on. Oh, both of them on. Oh, it's on. Woo! Vodka, please. Anyone? Aquavit. I'm not picky. Well, let's turn that off. Right. The exclusive OR gate I mentioned earlier is like an OR gate, but it's exclusive. You've got to have both, one or the other, not both. Right, it just won't be happy. It's a monogamous gate, I suppose you could say. And that's kind of exciting stuff. It's all just pure CSS. All right, let's have a look at what else we got here. Half adder. Add two binary digits, right? Million, zeros, ones, binaries. on, off, that's all it is. And you can combine the outputs of those digits and have complicated outputs by combining your logic gates. And that's pretty impressive stuff. Remember, we're all purely in CSS here. There's no JavaScript whatsoever. Good. Glad you're so impressed. Look at that one. My brain melts trying to think about how you put that together. And then I remember you just take simple things and you add them together step by step, and you end up with complexity. It's pretty cool. So here we go. We've got 3 channels. Who knows how to count in binary? I love this bit. So I had a cheat, a massive, massive cheat. I was very, very young, before I even went to school. My father, who he was in computers quite a long time ago. He worked on the Juice. It was the size of a house. Absolutely insane. He taught me ABCs, taught me how to count, and then he taught me to count in binary. Such a useful skill. I used it all the way through school. It got me beaten up. Yep, that's it. Try not to put the water on top of the electronics. Seems like a good idea. So, yes, Rendell? That's good. Unfortunately, we didn't have any beer at school. What's the education system coming to? Okay, so binary is a counting system. We're all familiar with decimal. In the decimal counting system, each column represents a number of tens. You got singles and things. We know that, right? Binary, each column is a number of twos, which is just fantastic for making poo jokes. That one didn't go down well. The binary column order is reversed for reasons we don't really want to go into, but our first column, which is on the, from which way are you looking at it? Which is on the right-hand side. Sidebar, when I try and remember which is my left and right, I actually have to go back to the little lane outside the primary school and remember turning on my bicycle when I first learned what my left and right was, because sometimes I forget, and that's the only way to remember. Why did I tell you that? So, the rightmost column. What would be the leftmost column would be our ones. This is our first column. The column of ones, we count on that. There's 1 in the ones column, and that's a 1. Put more in the ones column means no, you can't. I'm sorry, it's binary. We've only got 0 and 1, so you can't go higher than that. So we need to move on to the next column. The next column, we put 1 in the next column. The next column is 1 to the power of 1. And so that is 2s. So you've got 1 in that column, that's a 2, right? You with me so far? This is good. All right, anybody want to guess what happens when I click on this one? What would the number be? 4. 1, 2, 4. Next column is going to be, and then. Oh, no, come on. Say that one again. 128. You hear that a lot, don't you? What's the next one? Wow, you hear that one a lot as well. Where do we go after that? Oh, before you know it, it's 1024 and 2048. Oh, I've heard all these numbers before. Why is it we use all these numbers? Oh, that's why. That's literally why these numbers are so important in maths and computing, because between hexadecimal and which is 16, 16 being a number that is obviously quite important in binary because it's 4 columns, these are the things that control the basic numbers and the reasons why we use them. So what we see here then is a 3-column adder that outputs the bottom. There we go. So we've got a maximum possible value of 4 plus 2 plus 1, so that adds up to 7. Only need 2 columns to display it. We link an XOR, an XOR, an AND, and an OR. Put 1 in that column, and we've got 1. Put 1 in both in that column, we've got 2. Oh, God, don't double-click things, David. Come on, get that right. Right. And then put them all together, and hang on. 0, 1, 2, 3. That should be 7. Why is that coming out? I don't know. All just ones. And then hey, you know what? You're right. Oh, I'm glad you're here. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've done this talk. Please forgive me. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Shit the bed. Oh my God. Oh, 4 full adders change to get them to two-digit binary numbers, not 15. So 5-digit binary number. And oh my lord, it's pretty though, isn't it? What does that look like though? A circuit diagram. And do you know why? It's because it's what it is. We're building circuits. We've got logic gates and circuits. It's all done in CSS and HTML, and that's quite impressive. And you take some of those and you put them together and you add some more and it gets really complex. Then you could end up, oh, wait, no. I said we're not going to go there. We don't know. Jesus Christ. How are we doing? Oh, could be worse. Ah, look at this. Nothing to do with logic gates. This is actually a really cool thing. What this does, I don't know how he's done it. It adds up binary numbers, and then it outputs them in decimal below, and it's all done in CSS. Who wants to play some binary games? Kill me now. All right. So we got 1s, 2s, 4s, 8s, and 16s. That means we can go up to a total of, in one row, anyone want to hazard a guess there? 31. Excellent. And we've got another row below that, goes up to the same, which gives us a maximum total of, go on, whisper it. Yeah, 62. 31 plus 31 is 62. You are the best. You are just great. I love you. Alrighty. Somebody give me a number between 0 and 31. 26. You got there first. I kind of feel like this is kind of mean, isn't it? So 26, what's that made up of? That's the largest thing in it is a 16, right? So we can fit a 16 in there. Look at that. Do you see that cool effect? Oh, man. I wish I had a marquee and a spinning GIF of under construction. That would be really cool. That leaves us with 10. The largest thing in 10 is an 8, so let's stick one of those in there. And that leaves us with 2. Let's get a 2. And oh, there we go. 26. That's how you build 26 in binary. That's an interesting reverse way to think about it, how you construct these things. I quite like doing it like that because it's really simple. And you know, you can introduce kids to it like that because it's just take away a bit, and just deal with what's left. All right, let's give it another one. Done. 0 to 31. Sorry? 17. All right. Would you like to come up on stage, sir? Go on. I've got time to kill. I'm trying to fill here. All right. 17. What's the largest binary column that's available in that? 16, correct? Which leaves a remainder of, which fits very nicely into, and there's your answer. So close. You guys were so close. You nearly got 42. Thanks for trying. It's good effort. Fantastic stuff. Right. This is the bit where I'm slightly concerned. Because I kind of worked this out earlier. And we're genuinely going to do a live code experiment. And oh, God, I'm an idiot. Oh, I've got some notes, though. It's okay. Everything's going to be fine. We can get rid of that. Where's the other one, then? All right, let's have a new one. Code pen. This is so different to any other time I've done this talk. Last time I did it was what was previously a half-hour talk. I did it in 15 minutes to an audience of non-technical people at a rate of knots. And it was incredibly good fun. And you just, after doing something like that, you just come off, you're just buzzing. It's like, oh my God, it's amazing. I've got to have a drink to calm down. It's all good. It's all good. Right. So we're going to want to have some inputs. And we're going to need an output. So here we go. Start with the checkbox. Oh, there it goes. That's updated eventually. Took your time. We're going to need to style that. We've seen all this before. It's not terribly exciting, is it? Where do we go to? Right. Let's just take all that styling and jump in. We don't need to go through all the details of it. We'll just run through it very quickly. So radios and checkboxes, we hide. If we've got a label next to them, we style that label. And then with the before and after pseudo elements, put some basic styles on it. Always remember to put in empty content. If you don't have that in there, you won't see the damn thing. And if you forget about it and you don't find the answer, you could be looking for it for a very long time. And then a bit of basic styling on the color, so that's great. And if it's checked, we give it a bit more styling so we can tell the difference. Superb. That should have updated. And it hasn't. Ah, SAS, well done. Thank you very much. Excellent. Right, audience participation is great. I appreciate your support. I clearly really need it. Superb. Bang. That worked. Magic. All right, so we're going to need another one of those. I'm going to have another input. How do you build things? Mystery, mystery, mystery. There you go. Got 2 inputs. We should have very shortly. That's very exciting. And we need to have an output as well. Right. So now we have to do the complicated magic, the really, really complex bit. How do we turn these 3 checkboxes that just sat there next to each other into a logic gate? This is going to be tough, right? You're going to, at the end of this, you're going to be like, wow, that must have taken you like years and years. And to be fair, like, you know, it's quite a lot of learning and education over the total. But the actual final solution, oh God, I'm Jewish, right? It's okay. Slava Ukraini, everything's fine. Whoops. What we need to work out then is what happens, right? Well, we need some way initially to determine the state of our output. And we don't really want it to look just like a checkbox, because then you can't really tell what's going on. So what we're going to do, let's say if we have an input that is followed by a label, and then followed by another input, and then another label, and then another input, because we've got 3, right? You're following me so far. It's fairly straightforward. Another input, and another label. The pseudo element after, which is the one we're using for the background, let's just turn that red, right? Because it's off, right? Nothing works at the moment. Exciting. Why did that break the... I don't care, but how did that affect the border radius? Oh yeah, that's why people hate CSS. I get it. Okay. So let's have a look at that rule again. We're going to copy that across. And what we need is for it to turn green, because that's going to tell us it's on, right? 0C0, isn't it? Yep. RGB. Look at that. I can remember 3 letters. Honestly, it feels quite impressive to even be able to remember 3 letters right now. And we need to work out how this logic is going to work. So this is a live coding experiment with all of you as audience participation members. Shit. Does anybody want to have a guess at what we have to do to this line here, line 49, to make the magic happen? And if you do know logic gates, and if you do know how to do this kind of thing in CSS, maybe keep it to yourself, let someone else have a go. Don't all rush up at once. Anyone? Checked. Yes? Okay, that's a good start. Remember, we're doing, all of our controls are based on having the checked property, which we can add to any given input with colon checked after it. So, in that list, we have 2 that are our inputs, our input inputs. God, the naming convention is so convenient, isn't it? I had a joke about naming conventions earlier, but I've forgotten it. Never mind. All right, well, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? It's the first, well, maybe it's not. We'll find out. The first 2 are the first 2. So if we say when those 2 are both checked, then, oh, that's a country, mate. That's not a, never mind. Oh, my God. I'm not panicking internally. There we go. Okay, so when they're both checked, then the label should be red. Okay. Okay, that's good. All right. Doesn't work, does it? Oh. The label should be green when they're both checked. Oh my God, it does work. Oh my God, we've made a logic gate. Woo! You tried. You tried. That's pretty cool, man. I didn't realize we were watching cricket here. I'm hearing crickets. That's a different matter. Right, this is all good. Okay, so I worked that out earlier. It was pretty easy. I spent days worrying about it. Oh, where am I going to do this? How does it work? Whatever. The moment I actually sat down and tried to code it, well, not the first moment I sat down and tried to code it, did try and sit down and code it last night after geek drinks with a bottle of tequila in my hand, and guess what? Didn't work. But 5 minutes this morning worked out. Obviously, I have slight advantage. I kind of have, in theory, some idea what I'm doing here. Would anybody like to hazard a guess at making an OR gate? So remember, an OR gate works if one of the inputs is on, or the other input is on, or both of them is on. Anybody want to have a guess, or shall I just walk you through it like sheep? 2 CSS rules, good start. What's the difference between them? Because if they're the same CSS rule, there's got to be a difference, otherwise there's no point, right? Piss off, Rendell, you clever swat. Teacher's pet. There we go. All right, should we see if it works? It's going to be so funny if it doesn't. I'm going to beat the shit out of it. It's on. Okay, all right, let's turn it. No, it's on. And if they're both on? Props to Rendell, well done. Thank you very much. So one of the other basic ones we mentioned earlier was the exclusive OR, an XOR gate. The difference there is if both of them are on, won't have it, right? It's the monogamous gate, remember? So we're going to have to make a little change here. Anybody who isn't Rendell want to have a guess at that? Sorry, say again? I can guarantee you it's simpler than that. But it's good. Hmm? Yeah. And how would you use that?
One is checked, the other is not checked. And then the second rule is the first one is not checked, and the second one is checked.
So, what you're saying, I think, is just do this.
Not checked.
Yeah, you're right, not checked. Does that work? Does it need brackets? I can't remember.
Yeah,
All right, let's try brackets. Oh, it went green. I like that. Nice color. Oh, syntax highlighting is the best. Look at that. We've just built 3 different types of logic gate in HTML and pure CSS, live, on stage, with your assistance. Well done to all of you, apart from the ones who didn't help. Logic gates, amazing. So, like, these incredibly simple tools, once again, this isn't even much complexity, is it? And we've built a foundational component of the modern electronic and digital world. That's pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive stuff indeed. How are we doing? Oh, not too bad. This whole section hadn't really been timed. And when I built that little one earlier this morning, I was like, yeah, this is going to take, oh my God, that's only going to fill about 5 minutes. And I need about 20. God damn it. But we've done all right. We've done all right. I think we spent about 15 doing this. You know, timing's been good. Let's see if we can get back to my slideshow somehow. Somewhere around here. There's a slideshow. Oh, that's great. The only problem with this one, didn't want to do that, is I think this page actually breaks the directional stuff. Ah, yes! Rendell, help me out here. How do we turn this into profit?
venture capital.
Fucking sweet. get that sweet, sweet unicorn money. But I don't mean the venture capitalist, I mean the unicorn that I'm going to buy so I can recreate this scene, reshoot my own GIF and send it to all of you. So that's some cool stuff. I quite enjoyed that. There we go. There's my talk. I'm hoping you've got a lot of questions because we've got quite a lot of time to fill. Thank you all very much. I have to give due credit to my dearly departed father, to my good and absolutely insane Eddie Timon. He got this like how to HTML book at me and was like, you could do that. You could be a webmaster. And it's a stupid idea. Within a year I was. To the wonderfully behatted Dylan Beattie, who first prompted me to put together an early version of this talk 5 years ago for Full Stack Conference in London, which was such an enjoyable experience. I didn't do it again for another 5 years. To all at Team NDC for organising this, oh my God, mind-blowing conference. That conference floor is just amazing. Look at the food. I haven't looked at any of the tech stuff. I'm just like, look at the food. And of course, for being such a wonderful and forgiving audience, and for turning up in the first place in these numbers, I am blown away, honestly, absolutely amazing. We need to update that. There's the original thanks. All due credit, right, if you're of an age, you know what this t-shirt means, made by the absolutely amazing Amy Danielle Dansby, who is a legend in her own right. So thank her very much for providing the most appropriate torso covering for this event. And to Glenn, who, not knowing what he was getting himself in for, encouraged me to actually put together my pitch and put this whole thing on, which is nice. So I'm me. You can find me there. I highly recommend you don't. You can also look at other things there. It's probably not worth it. Thank you all. We shall open to Q&A in just a moment. Excellent. And answer to your first question, no, I don't know why I'm such an idiot. Yeah, do we have anybody who wants to, is that a hand, or are you just taking photos of me so you can make fun of me for all your friends on Twitter? That would have worked a lot better if I hadn't stammered. Wait, are people leaving already? Good call. Gentlemen at the front, please. Just wait a second, we've got a microphone coming round for you.
Does this work in emails?
That's your answer. You're not getting any more than that. Yeah, CSS supported emails is an absolute shit show and has been for years. You probably can now, actually, because there's an awful lot that somehow people are doing dynamic emails, and I don't know how, and that's because I refuse to find out. Look, everybody's probably got to do a little bit of time at some point in their career styling an email. But once you've done it, you never have to do it again, and you get to tell people to fuck off if they ask you. It's great getting older. Sorry? Code of what? Never heard of it. Right. Any more? Joe. Oh, that's convenient. Saves some time.
Look at that. For your, I like the accordion. That's nice.
Thanks.
Are there accessibility implications there?
Yeah.
How might
There
we
are.
fix
The
them?
accessibility implications are, it's so simple, you don't really have to worry about it. It's using the most basic tools there are. So it's, the big problem is you come along, you do something fancy, you add in a load of things, you a bunch of elements that aren't doing what elements are supposed to do. All of these things are doing what they are supposed to do. A label is clickable. It should be clickable. Superb. Who cares if I make it big and long and take up the whole top of an accordion? It's wonderful.
Some people with screen readers might care.
Still got text on it. What's the problem with that? You've got to label your labels, because otherwise nobody knows what they're for. That works, doesn't it?
Well, if you're, maybe this isn't the right forum to have an argument. If you're filling it,
Oh, yes, it is. We've got time to kill.
right, outside.
Now.
If you're filling it with a whole bunch of copy, say, whatever is in your nice accordion, your screen reader is going to read that out as if it's some sort of selection that they can make between the various bits of content. So you might want to use ARIA labels to make it obvious what's going on the
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it doesn't take an awful lot. I mean, that's... Everybody does ARIA labels as standard, right? Yeah. Right? Yeah. I mean, honestly, it depends on where your baseline is. Right. this stuff is as standard for what I build as far as possible. So often I don't really think about it and call it out, but you're absolutely right. You do need to make sure that those little details are there, but it is easily done. Question over there? If you're prepared to yield. Thank you.
Could you raise your hand?
Somebody sing a song while we're waiting. Whistle a jaunty tune. Oh, over there. Excellent. Hello, sir.
Yes. So another accessibility concern was the first one you showed, the checkboxes.
Mhm.
So I see that you have done a quick thing now. However, using display none on the checkbox, I think that removes the tabbable, makes the input not tabbable. So you should use something like SR only or visually hidden or whatever they're called now.
Yes, you're quite right. Yeah. Visually hidden will make all the difference to screen readers. You're absolutely right on that one. Well spotted. Any more for any more? Well, I mean, it's a start, isn't it? We've had fun. Well, I've had fun. Panic attacks and all kinds of things. Actually, this is pretty much on time, so we need some time to change over from the next person to get ready, presuming there is someone coming after me and everyone hasn't just looked at this, given up and gone home. Because really, they're not going to get better. No, they're just like, it's over now, you've ruined it, Dave, stop it. Thank you again for attending. I hope you found it informative. If you'd like to chat about it in a less brightly lit public setting, you can always come and find me. I should be fairly locatable at any given time, thanks to genetic freakishly long legs and the Mohican is not genetic. That was a choice. Thanks again. Enjoy the rest of your NDC Oslo. It has been a blinder. Cheers.